Hi, good morning and good evening in India. Good morning in United States. Kevin Call, publisher, Foresight.tv. There might be 100 reasons why we need to support somebody or do not want to support someone, but there's only one reason at this pandemic times that I see why it is important for the continuity of the government to continue at this juncture, because all the 4 years of experience that President Trump and his team have had in these times of crisis, when we have a World War III situation already in place with the bioweapons which has come out of Chinapkis nations, also known as China, and to contain China, we need a strong president, a president who has stood up to the powers of the evil society of Chinapkis. That is one reason only why the continuity of the government should be there. And like continuity of the government in Russia, Putin is there for life. Xi Jinping is there for life in China. In the United States also, we should have President Trump for the next 4 years. And all fellow Americans, please pay attention to this important election that is upcoming. And that is the reason, President Trump, we want you back. Thank you very much. And have a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen, globally.
Hi, my name is Sneh Mishra. I am the co-publisher of Foresight.tv. And one reason that we should have our president, Donald Trump, back in office is because a lot of us have a different opinion on him, and I understand it, and I respect that too. But as of right now, he's one of the best leaders for our country to make our country safe. And if there's a third world war, I think he will be one of the best presidents to have to protect our country. And he is for our nation. And he wants the best for our nation. And we as supporters and living in the United States, and we all have to protect our country. Thank you very much.
Enabled by their owned and controlled corporate media monopoly. They instigated a heavy-handed and unjustifiable nationwide shutdown to reverse Trump's many economic and unemployment gains, with Democrat-controlled states suffering the harshest restrictions in the country. Trump's energetic rallies were halted, hiding from view the surging nationwide passion for his galvanizing message, while Democratic presidential frontrunner Joe Biden was able to avoid interviews and debates where left-leaning voters would not be shown his obvious inability to govern, or the emerging Ukrainian bribery scandal that earned his family millions in illicit kickbacks by abusing his office. The next major advantage of the pandemic for the deep state was the case made to the public for mail-in voting, a highly insecure practice proven to be rampant with fraud, just as the public saw in one such example when a former Philadelphia judge pled guilty to stuffing ballot boxes after being paid by what he called a Democrat political consultant. With a rapidly rising death toll needed to make the case to the public for even harsher control, normal influenza deaths for the year were recorded as COVID-19, artificially inflating the numbers. But this was only the beginning. When this did not yield enough fatalities, the deep state initiated a murderous plan to defy federal guidelines and to move infected patients into nursing homes where the highest risk age group could be found in large numbers. The deep state governors of New York, New Jersey, California, Pennsylvania, and Michigan oversaw what can only be described as a genocide of our elderly loved ones, even as the quickly constructed field hospitals and medically equipped Navy ships stood mostly empty. This horrendous act cost the lives of over 50,000 people, but gave the insurgency a death toll that would stoke the public fear needed to push ahead with their goals. In these dark times,
is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, lie, lie,